All right, we should be live on Facebook and YouTube, and I'm going to hop on Instagram real quick and click
Hi,
the button
everyone.
over there. Hi, everyone. All
Um,
right, Instagram is a go. Thank you, technology. All right. Hi, Jess.
Hi. Yeah, I'm just still sharing. Sorry, guys.
Yeah,
Sorry.
thank you. It's cool.
Okay.
Welcome to Tuesday Live Readings. Happy spring equinox, everyone. Hopefully, you're in the Northern Hemisphere listening, and that's relevant to you. And if you're in the Southern, happy fall. So our spring has definitely sprung like a month early up here in New Jersey. I was out and
Yeah.
about in Jersey and Pennsylvania over the weekend, and
Oh,
like the cherry blossoms are in full bloom. Like everything that you would expect in around April 20th this time is all just like popping and up and out. And our equinox today is actually also a little bit early. Um, that's when the sun shifts into the sign of Aries, and it'll be around 11 p.m. tonight here on the East Coast rather than tomorrow. So that is also a little earlier than usual.
Aries season. Woo-woo. I
I
know
guess
you're
an hour, a day cosmically relates to a month on Earth. I don't know.
I know all the
So,
Aries you know when it's Aries season.
oh yeah.
Love you all, by the way. I know you're watching.
uh,
Oh,
yes, me too. It
I'm
got me
surrounded by
yesterday
Aries.
though, Jess.
I love Aries. They keep a fire under my rump because my Taurus sometimes gets a little slow.
Me too.
But I also keep those suckers chained to the earth as well, so it works both ways.
Yes. You give them the water they need when the fire needs to be tamed a little bit.
I love it. Mm.
Yeah.
All right. Oh,
Right.
can I just say that eclipse season, even though it's not eclipsed, is full? I feel like it's in full swang, like
Yes.
we were just saying.
And we're in the Mercury retrograde pre-shadow right now also. So we have those concurrent again this time around,
So
which is
fun.
always interesting.
So much fun.
Yep. And Mercury is in Aries now too. So that just adds to the Aries air energy that we're in. So yeah, all the things
It's good.
concurrent this time around.
It's good to know, though. All right,
Yes.
there. See, it finally worked. It took me twice of try. Okay, now
Thank you.
I'm present now. Sorry about that. Okay.
Oh, it's cool. So we can talk about our decks and
Yeah.
a few announcements that we have.
Hmm.
So I picked Soul's Journey lesson cards for today, as well as the Peace Warrior deck, because we have with this first eclipse coming next week on Monday with the full moon in Libra
Ooh,
and
she's
Saturn.
she looks sassy on there.
So this is the author's daughter.
Wow, nice. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Cool.
um yeah, so we have Saturn and Venus coming together just to add some extra reality based vibes to the full moon and eclipse coming in on Monday. So that's why I picked those two decks for today.
So that being said, would that affect someone whose ruling planet is Venus more than others, perhaps?
Um,
Or
depends.
does it come into play into the way things would be showing up for someone with
For sure. I mean, with the full moons in general, things rise to the surface, but when Saturn and Venus come together, relationship stuff is always highlighted, whether you
Nah.
have that natally or when they come together roughly every year and a half or so, just by transit. So they're both in Pisces right now, and they're inching slowly and slowly together, and they'll come together to the same degree around the 21st, so in a couple days. So because the full moon and the eclipse will be in Libra on Monday, that will be ruled by Venus. Those two together, it just kind of adds to the vibe.
That's interesting. So
Mm-hmm.
person I live with is Aries Sun Libra rising.
Mm. Well, yeah, so that'll be a full moon and like kind of a weak lunar eclipse in that person's first house of self and how they show up in the world and all the things. So that's a really big deal.
Thank you for letting me know.
And health, like body. If
Yeah,
if
that's interesting. There's a lot
if
of
there's like an exhaustion type thing going on, like that, just right now we're at the end of Pisces right now too, so that just adds to like
that.
I've been feeling kind of exhausted the past couple of days just because I just want to sleep.
So true.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So it's like I don't know. It's just so true. You can't even make it up. It's like,
yeah. I'll be doing an astro weather check.
Amazed.
Yeah. I'll be doing an astro weather check episode. I'm probably going to be recording that on Friday. So I'll go into deeper detail on everything. So everyone stay tuned for that.
I look forward to them because it helps me navigate my shiz. I mean, like, as close to a map as I can of that kind of a thing as I can get is the stuff you talk about, you know?
Yeah. And I'm continuing on with the standalone. Oh, thank you, Jess. I appreciate it. Continuing on with the standalone astro weather checks moving forward, and there'll be video episodes, at least on our YouTube. So
cool.
I'll be able to share the chart and really like show everything. And yeah, I'm not sure when season 4 of Becoming Chiron will start. I have some ideas, but for now, I'll just be keeping up with the astro weather checks for the full moons and the new moons.
Cool.
Yeah. So they're like shorter.
I'm listening. No, I'm listening.
I was just going to say they're shorter, more digestible. That was the feedback that I got when I asked, as far as whether people like those by themselves or as part of the episodes. And the resounding yes from the 2 people that let me know.
I like both because if my brain can't handle some deeper stuff, I like the one, and then if I'm in the mood to like dive in, I like them both. I feel like they're good balance of other kind of, you know?
Yeah.
Because I get into different moods to what I can digest or not. Like if I'm in the mood to go into something, you know me, it's on. But like,
oh yeah.
But if I'm just, you know, just need to know bullet point type stuff, there are those times too, for sure.
Yeah. Those are easier for me anyway, as far as like just, you know, doing a 20-minute half-hour thing rather than a full episode on top of a 20-minute half-hour thing. So I'm excited to break it up like that moving forward.
So I'm just gonna show the decks I chose today. My Power Animal deck.
Cool.
Dr. Stephen Farmer. This is a tried and true for me, and then my Avalon deck. I'm not even sure what it's called. The Magic of Avalon, maybe, or something like that. By oh my god, it's drawing a blank. The woman who did it. Sorry. I just carry them around in a bag. These are the ones. Okay. So yeah, I feel like these are the 2 out of my 4 that I just use all the time that would be the most like direct with their messages, you know?
Yeah.
Some of them can be vague, and I just feel like people want to know things.
Yeah, and a direct message and clarity is a lot easier right now, especially being in this end of the zodiac, sun at 29 degrees Pisces space right now. Something with more clarity and just direct and to the point is a lot easier right now because we're all just kind of dreamy and vibey anyway.
Yeah, I feel like clarity is something I've been kind of doing my best to call in. Not that I'm like don't know where my life's going or something, but like just, you know, what I don't know. I feel like I'm in a shift. So whenever that happens, I understand that I'm not going to have answers, but as someone who likes to have answers, it's kind of difficult sometimes.
A little frustrating. I feel you. I feel you for sure.
Look, I'm using my Sea Goddess mug.
Oh, I had iced coffee this morning. So I'm in a glass today, but I have been using mine as well. So shout out to Candy for those beautiful special gifts. Yeah.
All right.
So Jess, yeah, if anyone's on and watching, just let us know if you'd like a reading today. We will be ending by 12:30 sharp. I have an appointment after early this afternoon. So yeah. If not, we'll just be happy to continue talking about the current energy. And I had something I actually wanted to bring up today that's pretty relevant to the energies. And that is, I watched this movie last night that just popped up on HBO Max called Dream Scenario with Nick. It's like a new Nicolas Cage movie.
Oh, okay.
Have you heard of this? It's really interesting. And very curious that it popped up now, considering everything I just said as far as being at the end of Pisces and Sun and Neptune kind of infusing their energies and things just being like borderline strange anyway. So Nicolas Cage plays this character Paul Matthews, who shows up in people's dreams randomly. But,
On
like,
purpose?
no,
Oh,
no.
okay.
Well, I don't know. So this is one that's gonna require multiple watches, I think,
Now I'm gonna
because
have to watch it.
there's a I kinda picked up on a deeper metaphorical meaning kind of threaded throughout the entire thing, and there was a lot of metaphor and, just the archetypes, I'm wondering what they were playing with there too, because, collective, subconscious, unconscious is archetypes anyway, so, like, what was he really representing in the 2 different forms that he shows up? So, the movie starts off and he just shows up as this guy in, like, a ton of people's dreams, just randomly, people he knows, people he doesn't know, like, students in his class, like, weird, just weird. But
Mhm.
he's just some guy that's just there watching and observing. And then it takes a turn in the movie, and he shows up as somebody who's, um, malevolent, I guess you could say.
Hmm.
And
Int
the way that people react to the 2 different versions of the way he's showing up, even though it's not him doing it, like, he hasn't done anything. It's so strange and so interesting to see how the perceptions of him and people's attitudes toward him and things change once his role in their dreams shifts.
That's interesting.
It's really interesting.
That's pretty deep for Nicolas
So
Cage, right? I feel
no. Most of his stuff I think is pretty, like,
Yeah?
it reminded me a little bit of the storyline and the movie adaptation. Never
Oh,
seen that one?
I forgot about that one.
Yeah,
Never
there's a lot of his stuff that I think
Yeah,
has a
yeah,
lot more. Yeah.
right.
Like, he serves a lot of different audiences, I think.
Yes, that's true.
So,
Well,
yeah, I think that it's a must watch for this time of the year. Eclipse season, Mercury retrograde, end of Pisces season. Just, it's on HBO or Max if you've got it, so I
what's it
highly
called again?
recommend. Dream Scenario.
Dream Scenario. Okay. Alright.
Yeah, really, really, really curious, and then the thing that they kind of pull in at the end was also very interesting, which I'm not gonna give away, you have to watch it.
I will watch it. I love throwing on something random and like, "Oh, what's this?" type thing.
You
And
gotta
then to
pay
be
attention to
pleasantly
it, though.
surprised after doing so is even better.
Yeah,
Because sometimes it's like, "What?" And then yeah.
yeah. Yeah, my husband and I were talking about it afterwards, and I was talking about the metaphorical stuff and the archetypes, and he was like, "Oh, okay."
Well, he didn't
So,
even of course.
he's like, "That was so weird." I'm like, "It kinda was, but it kinda wasn't." So, I like that. I just like watching movies over and over again and picking up something different every time. I'm weird like that.
No, I'm a fan. I watch movies over and over and over and over as well.
Yeah.
It's comforting because I know what's gonna happen, I think
Mhm,
is what it is. I've always kind of been like that. It's like,
mhm.
it's safe because I know kind of thing. Anyway.
Exactly, exactly.
Alright. Does anybody want a card?
Yeah, let us know if you want a card. If you're on there's actually some people all on Instagram too, so,
Cool.
that, you have to comment on that platform, so if you want a reading, just let us know. It won't come through into the main feed over here, so I'll just keep checking. But otherwise, Jess, we can just make some announcements and maybe pull a couple of collective reading
Yeah,
cards, and then,
absolutely. Absolutely. I just want to say
yeah,
that the dragons are here in my
yeah,
world already. For sure. Baby whispering. Like the baby dragons that I started to make are
yeah. Will
starting.
you talk about that actually for
Yeah,
April?
so I got yep. So I got an so my regular dragon offering, which is funny for me to even say regular now at this point, right? Because I was always like, I don't know, I've had that offer open since October, which
Mhm.
anyway, so the dragon offer that I have currently, that the coupon that we have would serve for, I've kind of just like, it's very intricate and it's the process that I go through to download the ingredients and the entire thing. Since October, I've done quite a few, and I it has started to give me a brain cramp kind of feeling, and so I'm like, as soon as I meet resistance with the dragons, I'm like, I have to stop because um, I don't ever want that to become like not a passionate thing for me to make, you know, like, I don't ever want to not be thrilled making them or excited, because it's different than just the normal pieces I make. So I decided that after this offering month where they were present, that I would like stop making them for a while just to recharge and like become excited about them again. um, but then I also, in the back of my mind, realized that eclipse season was approaching again, and so that's when they show up. So I'm like, well, how, you know, can I even not offer? Like, I don't know. There was some doings up in my brain, and so I just so happened to get a gift of a dragon mold. I would say the word randomly, but obviously it's not. And it's of a baby dragon, the cutest little guy. And so I made one because I just wanted to see how the mold worked, just like an experiment for myself. And it turned out quite lovely. And he spent the time at the retreat with us, right? I brought him and put him on the altar, and it's right over here. I'll grab it. But I have received a couple orders since then. And so I've started to like enter the process of downloading the information for these guys. The process is so much different, even though it's also organite. But just the way I get to like use the medium or the products, and it's like a lot less stressful, even though it's bigger. And I don't know how to explain it, but anyway, so I showed this one, and immediately people were like, ah, and I was like, all right. So, because the dragons had a different plan, you see. They're like, okay, so you're sick of the one. You're not done, you know, like I didn't know. I thought I was done. I thought I decided, but clearly no. So these will be my new dragon offerings for the foreseeable future, not forever, because I love the other ones too. And those were like the original ones that I ever started making and stuff. So those aren't gone forever, but this will be the new incarnation of my dragons for this eclipse season. And any color, any stone combination still applies or whatever. This just happened to be how this one came out, which is funny as we're entering Aries season, and he's quite the fiery little man.
Mhm. And a baby dragon for spring is just so perfect.
Yeah. So it's like I can't even choose. They're just like,
here you go.
I don't even really know. I know I don't have to explain it to you, and I'm probably not making much sense to everyone else, but you don't argue with the dragons. They were kind enough to give me another avenue, but they're like, no, you're not done. And so I'm just like, all right.
Yep.
Yeah, so but it's been fun experimenting with how to get different effects, like how to get the two-tone, like, you know, red and then gold. I don't know, it's become fun again. They gave me an option how to make it fun again, which is what I need, because every time when it gets too, when it starts to seem too much like hard work and I feel too much internal resistance, like I know I need to shift something, because as an artist, like I need to, like we were just talking about the need for creative release in lots of different areas, but I notice for me, I don't ever want it to become unpleasant to create things, you know. So
oh yeah,
they were very gracious and generous with just plopping a new option into my lap out of nowhere. So I'm graciously accepting that, and these incarnation of dragons will be available. And it's still a personal soul dragon. It's still like the downloads come specifically from them to you. It's just they're not adults, these. And so right now I have an order for a couple for that will be gifted to children, which I found interesting. And it's always a joy for me to create things for kids, because that's why I exist on earth this time, as a child advocate, caregiver in numerous ways. I'll just leave it at that. But so to be making them for kids is just an ultra extra joyous thing. And so I know that's not an accident either. They're like, here, we'll make this really great for you, but you can't stop.
It'll just transform and be something completely new. And we're going to put that in your store starting what, April 1st?
Yeah. Or yep. As soon as we do our new episode, or what do you call
Soul
it?
broadcast.
Yeah. Letter. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like next week, right? Or ish.
April 1st.
Oh, okay, so 2 weeks ish.
2 weeks. So on that note, we were very energetically preoccupied, I guess you could say, with our retreat planning in March and February. End of February is when we actually start putting together the soul broadcast. So we didn't do one for March, but February's is still very relevant. I made a typo there in the banner. Sorry, it's actually February's, which we wrote all about loving yourself through a dark night of the soul. And that topic is still moving into eclipse season and everything, all about transformation and all that. So very much still relevant. So that's still up on our website. We switched to public access to that one on February 15th. So that is there for everyone. And for March, instead of the soul broadcast, we decided to offer special savings. So 20% off everything, all of our products, all of our services. And those are the 2 coupon codes right there on the screen that you can use in our stores and on our bookings. So for readings with Mandy and Lexi, that would be using that code March 20 SC. And then for readings and products with Jesse and me, that'll be March 20 SP. And those are available and active until the end of the month. So just so everybody knows that that's what we decided to offer instead, which is very cool, especially if you want to know and dive into the energies that we're talking about. Readings can do that. Birth chart readings can do that. And if you're already familiar with your birth chart, then we can check in and just kind of see where the eclipses are happening in your chart. That makes a huge impact on those specific themes and areas of life, which we're already seeing. So yeah, all that's there.
Cool.
Yeah. And April 1st, we'll be posting the Soul blog just for Soul Garden members. And then on the 15th, we'll make it public. So the topic is reweaving, which will be discussing eclipse season and Mercury retrograde and how things are being rewoven a little bit for everybody right now.
Yes. The dragons are great at that.
They sure are.
I don't know if I've just the fact that they're much more present during eclipse seasons is why I keep talking about it in a way that, like, I don't mean to keep talking about it like people should know, because they are stealth in their own way.
Mm-hmm.
But dragon energy is huge during eclipse seasons, which is why I just jumped right into talking about the dragons.
Yeah.
So that was that.
Yeah. And Jess and I both wrote about that for our November soul broadcast from last year. So if you want to dive in more deeply on our personal stories with working with dragons, that's there on our soul blog page on our website. And also, we taught a class in November of last year all about harnessing the power of your dragons. And that is now in our downloadable class library. So you can watch that class for half price of what it was when we offered it. And it includes the PDF of the slides as well as the recording of the class. So just go to our classes page for that, services and then classes.
We should do another one.
Fun. Yeah, maybe we should. I mean, we could do it maybe post eclipse season this time around and talk about integration or something like that, since we already taught like the basics.
Yeah, because they stick around through the integration. So maybe
they sure do.
We could be like using your whatever. We could talk later. Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe doing a new like deeper dive and then maybe including the original class for an add-on or something could be cool.
Yeah, because it's truly the things that show up without the integration of them later, that's completely freaking useless, to be honest. So you could have all the knowledge up in your brain, but until you bring it through into your like life, or as like you embody it, it's freaking pointless. Or useless. I found.
With the way that they work in particular, definitely, I agree.
So I just drew 2 cards.
Perfect. I was going to say, let's do that and then just close out, because we have one person watching and no one's asking for readings. So this will be our
cool. I'm happy to
short and sweet episode for today.
I drew one from each deck. So from the animal deck, I got one of my favorite cutie animals, the otter. Oh, I just love the otters. They're so wiggly and cute. Um, Otter says, surrender. Let go of control. Oh, yep. Don't we all hear this so often though, right? But I would say now is the time to really do that, because eclipse season, whether you like it or not, or whether you want it or not, or whether you've been doing your work or not, eclipse season is the time when the universe is just going to show you exactly what is truly going down. Like, if you've been steadily doing your internal work, the plate in front of you will probably be digestible. If you are not, it's just beneficial to slow and steadily do the things all year long. I did not used to be this way, so I'm not talking like I'm, like way ahead of anyone or not, but I just learned that eclipse season is the time to surrender, especially like the things that come up are needed for your progression. And so like surrendering is really the best bet, even though it seems scariest, because you're letting go of whatever you're holding on to that you think keeps you safe. It's not going to matter, because it's not going to matter during eclipse season, whether you're holding on to something or not. You're going to have to let go. So it's beneficial to just let go gently on your own, instead of clinging and then being like, I always see like river rafting as an example of that in my mind. When I start talking about this stuff, it's like, they teach you to go with how the water's going and use your tools to manipulate how things are. It's like you can resist, but you're just going to get catapulted out of the boat, if you resist the natural direction of things. And so, yeah, there's that. And then from the Avalon deck, Sacred Journey Marker, partnership. So the whole Venus thing you were just talking about with relationships, right? This would be talking about flowing in that area too. Like, things are shifting. And that includes inside of partnerships, romantic or otherwise. I don't feel like that is specific to anything. Any type of partnership could even be work, but just understanding that shifts are occurring. And so it's best to just see what pops up and deal with it as it happens, instead of having some like fixed idea of how things should be and remaining rigid. Now is not the time to be rigid, is what I'm really feeling like. I feel like the people that know what their general vibe is will just keep on vibing in that way, and the people and things that match it will flow along with you, and the ones that don't will perhaps find another avenue, or I don't know, right? It's just, I feel like fighting anything is pretty futile right now. That's my gut feeling on it, like in every aspect. Almost. How does that feel to you? Does that feel accurate?
That feels super accurate, and it also is very much in alignment with the 2 cards that I pulled. So Nicole jumped on and said, good afternoon. Hello, Nicole. Thanks for joining us today. If you'd like a reading, please let us know. We'll finish out with the collective readings that we just pulled for everybody. And then, how was the mud pies? Oh, it was muddy the last couple days. It was muddy. Yeah, it rained like a good half of Saturday, and then Sunday it cleared up, and then it was definitely muddy, but it was so much fun. And it was so funny too. Before I actually, one of the people that came, we were talking about favorite movies, like favorite 80s movies, I think it was. And she said Drop Dead Fred. And I was like, oh my God, they make mud pies in that movie. It's so funny that aligned with like having that happen beforehand and then coming up at the retreat also. All right, so Jess, Nicole would love a reading, so I'm going to go over the 2 cards I pulled, and then if you'd
Okay.
like to pull for Nicole. So, speaking of the down wave or surrendering to the flow, I pulled the down wave from the Peace Warrior deck, which is card number 36. Take a breath. And the whole message on this one is honor yourself with the gift of being still, even if only for a moment to catch your breath. Be still, allow your mind to quiet, and let your body be present. So that is kind of like icing to what Jess was already saying about the surrender part, as well as just going with the flow, and it's not time to be rigid and all of that. And when eclipse season closes out in April, that whole energy can feel like a down wave. Like you've been kind of surrendering to the chaos and just being still and kind of in a receiving mode. And then it's like, okay, this is what this really was all about. This is what this really meant. And it's okay to just still be quiet and be still and then take action afterwards. And then the Soul's Journey lesson card, indecision. So the message on this one is I use my intuition in all aspects of my life. So this one's really cool because it also speaks to that receptive, surrender, receiving mode. And the other thing too, with the full moon that we have coming in on Monday in Libra, Libra is stereotypically indecisive, but that what can be perceived as indecision is really evaluating all sides and aspects of whatever is coming in. So it can be perceived that way, but just make sure, hone in on your gut, hone in on your intuition, and just pick whatever option, choice, mode of action after everything kind of the dust settles that is the best for you in your gut and in your heart. So those two, I think, speak very well to the current energies as well, Jess.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
The bright pink red color on both of those, and then the
root chakra and crown.
Geez, yeah. That's like the exact same color.
Yeah, I know.
That's awesome.
Yep.
I've been feeling color really strongly lately. Like just staring at a certain color can make me feel better. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. I didn't know that would have such a strong effect. I mean, color is a big deal in my life, but I just didn't ever think that just staring at a certain color could calm my nerves. But it did by accident, so. And then
color therapy is a real thing.
Huh?
Color therapy is a real thing.
Yeah, that is a thing, isn't it? Yeah. Well, I noticed
Beth typed it and I said it at the same time.
I noticed it by accident. I was like, huh. I'm glad that my brain let that become consciously known to myself, because that could have stayed hidden in my subconscious forever.
Oh, yeah.
Color sunglasses. Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have Nicole, Sandy, and Beth, Jess.
Okay. So, Nicole, I drew one from each deck. The first one I pulled was elephant. And the word for the elephant here is resolve. It says, you will overcome any obstacles. My goodness. Elephants are just like the most triumphant Zen creatures I could almost ever even think of, honestly. They're the wisest. They have such a memory. They can feel the vibrations in their feet. And I've just been anytime that I read about elephants, I'm just enthralled and amazed. They're like some of the biggest creatures on earth, yet some of the most gentle and like loving towards their young and like community. They don't leave any elephants behind and stuff like that. This is just my personal feeling about the elephant, but this says you will overcome any obstacles. And then the second one I pulled from the Avalon deck, we have the Queen herself. So whenever this one comes up, here it says woman, fertility, feminine power, sexuality, friendships, and it's the number 4. So all of those things, yes, but whenever I see this card in particular, I'm always drawn to these people behind her because she's sitting there. She knows what she has. She knows what she's worth. She knows what she has to do. This is the most confident card in the deck. Um, I would liken it to maybe the Empress or something like that in a tarot. Um, she's fully self-sufficient. I mean, my goodness, she's staring straight at you. But anyway, these guys here always lead me to mention the about our spiritual teams behind the scenes, and not writing them off, and not to don't forget that spiritual help is only like a request away. So this guy is bringing her a new glass. She's playing music to, create the ambiance, whatever it is. So this just shows me that you have a very, very strong spiritual team around you. And if you are dealing with some obstacles that you feel are strong obstacles, um, and that you might not necessarily physically feel like, oh yeah, I'm strong enough to overcome that, but this one is here to say yes, you definitely are, but you're also not alone in it. So these folks around the side could also represent like physical people in your life that would be more than willing to help or support you. But just because of the way that they're looking down or away, and they're kind of like in the background of this, um, makes me feel like it's at least also a spiritual team, like your angels, ancestors, and not just limited to that either. Like the dragons are part of my spiritual team. So just one example. But just saying, so if you're feeling like there's things that are difficult, the elephant is here to let you know that you will overcome them, that you're strong enough. But also, like I'm feeling like mentioning in gentleness, though, you know, um, because these creatures are just so wise and gentle in the way I the way that they come across to me. Um, so don't lose your softness in trying to get through things, and know that you're fully supported. And it's just a mention away. Let's um, talk to them. I always forget to just talk to, just so every night before bed, I've personally been asking for ease and grace because I have no idea what's going on. I'm up here doing these live readings. I also don't know what's going on. Okay. So like it's cool. Like, so before bed, because I don't know the specifics of whatever shift this is, I just ask for ease and grace in dealing with whatever comes my way. Right. Because that would equal like the highest outcome. I feel like it encompasses like whatever gets thrown my way, ease and grace will help me discern what's best or not, just get through it. And so that's just one example of how you can call on your spiritual team in like a gentle way, not like, you don't have to have a specific list of demands or anything like that. But just say, like I'm requesting some help. A lot of times I ask for clarity overnight if I'm having difficulty with a situation. I'll just be like, look, I can't figure it out. Can you help me wake up with some clarity? And then I'll go to sleep and I wake up and maybe it's a song playing in my head, or maybe I just know what's going on when I wake up. But there is always some seed that I wake up with the next morning that helps me unravel whatever it is that I need to figure out. So really, really, assistance is just, a request away. And the elephant is here to let you know that you will overcome any of the obstacles that you may be facing. But then also remember the two cards I just drew as far as surrender and just, you know, dealing gently with ease and grace, however it shows up. Because it will show up. It's showing up, like this is saying there are things, but it's not impossible. In fact, if you approach it the right way, it's super doable. I hope that resonates. I just babbled a little bit there, but
It's okay. Jess, we do have a bit of a list at this point. So
okay.
We had Sandy requesting a card, Beth. So I'll do Sandy, you do Beth, and then
Okay.
Nina and Nicole from Instagram came over on Facebook and just made sure. I did see that on Instagram, Nicole. So we'll finish out with Nicole because I did say at the beginning we have to be done by 12:30 today. So without further ado, Sandy. And Sandy, I think that I'm guessing you're still talking about the job that you've been telling us about, the temporary position. So I'm glad that you, even though it was for a tooth extraction, got a few days off from that, and that you are resting and giving yourself that space. So the two cards that came up for you, Sandy, are from the Soul's Journey lesson deck, Fear. And the message on that one is, I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. So this is interesting because the other card that came up from the Peace Warrior deck is Hope, which relates to the vibration of love. And the message on this one is hope lives in a beating heart. So you have the two, according to A Course in Miracles, the only two emotions and vibrations that there are, love and fear. So I think that this is a really good opportunity to just recognize where the fear, if there, whatever this is speaking to, is coming from. And remember to just breathe into it, take a beat, and just know that a lot of times when we face our fears, sometimes they're coming into our lives to teach us to face the challenge. And then on the other side, there's great reward. And remember that that vibration lives in your heart, and it comes also in the vibration of hope. So just remember, especially with the job situation that you've been telling us about for a couple of weeks now, that I'm glad that you're taking the rest, taking the break, giving yourself the space. And you might go back into it with a fresh set of eyes or a fresh set of emotions that really push you to confront, face, and challenge yourself to be on the other side of everything that you've already told us that you know this experience is teaching you. So remember all of those things as you go back, and then moving into eclipse season and all the things that Jess and I have already discussed. So that was for Sandy. Jess, you have Beth. And then I'll do Nina, and then we will hop off after Nicole.
Hey, Beth. I love reading for Beth.
Me too.
I mean, I just always go straight for the animal deck anyway when it's Beth, because I don't know why, but I do. So anyway, first card I got. Now, just knowing you, this is cool. So I feel like I might have an idea what it's talking about, but you know what it's talking about for sure. So we got the koala, and the koala is empathy. It says, speak less, listen more. Now, I feel like the speak less part is not necessarily accurate, but the listen part, maybe not listen more, but like listen part, empathy. So I feel like today being the first day of spring, it's important for you, given your task on the first day of spring, my friend, to have empathy as to like whatever reaction your task might elicit, let's say, and don't no. Just that, and then we got movement. That there is movement. So even if there's resistance, listening and holding empathy for opinions, thoughts, feelings will allow for the movement that you're looking for. Just expressing yourself alone creates movement. And you can't control reactions of others, but we can listen to them and we can have compassion for them. But it doesn't mean that we don't have to go back on the things that we know we need. So I do feel a positive resolution to things. But it is going to require some empathy because people like the way things are. People like how things go when they, when things are familiar, comfortable, they're used to something. Um, the listening part will get you further in your movement. So just say what you need to say. Don't back down on it, but know that your approach to their reaction is important. And however it is that you deal with their reaction is going to, the movement will depend on that. Like the quickness of the movement or the smoothness of the movement. We're looking at a river here. So these are calm waters. So I feel like if you take heed here, the movement will be nice and smooth sailing. You know what I'm talking about, girl? You know what I'm talking about? So I think she knows what I'm talking about. Love you, Beth.
Nice. So amazing, Jess.
I love you. I know.
And Nicole, Morgan, and Sandy also said thank you. So I pulled for Mina. So Mina, this is for you. From the Soul's Journey Lesson Cards deck, the health card came up. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. So this one is from that deck for you. There's so much green on this card. So this definitely speaks some heart energy to me, heart healing energy, heart chakra energy, which we spoke to at the very beginning as far as everything that's going to be coming up with this full moon on Monday with relationships. And as Jess noted, that can be relationship with other people, partnerships, friends, relationship with yourself. So I feel like there's this message of love oneself, threaded through everything that's coming up today, especially with the hope card that came up for Sandy and everything that we've already pulled. And then from the Peace Warrior deck, your life matters. There is a beginning and an end. The pages in between create the story. So I feel like this definitely speaks to that down wave card, the surrender card, a lot that has already come up as far as just kind of being in this space right now with eclipse seasons. There's usually some kind of eclipsing out of something in our lives. It can be something very blunt or something very subtle, but that's usually what happens as a result of the energies, and that's how eclipses work. So this time around, with everything, with the full moon being in Libra and the total solar eclipse being in Aries, that dynamic of the zodiac is all about individual and oneself versus other and partnerships, and making sure that you're not losing yourself in partnerships, however that shows up for you in your life. So remember to take care of yourself, give yourself a beat, a rest if you need to, hold yourself in your heart, love yourself, and just remember that you're still writing the story, even though it might feel like a surrender type of space and energy. So those are the two cards and messages that came up for you today, Mina.
I love that heart card. It said health, but
that's so pretty.
That's heart chakra all over it for me.
Totally.
Beautiful.
Totally. Yep. All right, Jess, you've got Nicole, who was joining us from Instagram.
Oh, that's my bee.
Thank you for hopping on, Nicole. We got you.
That's my bee. That's one of my Aries bees. All right.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I pulled one from the animal deck, power animal deck, and one from my Avalon deck. We got oh, I love you. So we have the Pelican. Forgiveness, let go of your judgments. So that's pretty straightforward. That's pretty straightforward. And then sacred journey marker of birth and rebirth, which is perfect, being the actual freaking spring equinox here, like to the day. And I feel like, given that we're friends, I feel like I could apply this to numerous things that we've spoken about, but I feel like in general, just judgment for me equals resistance. And so wherever there's resistance, there there won't be clarity. So like I feel like it's related to the whole surrender thing. Just like people's is people's, in the words of Kermit the Frog in the Muppets Take Manhattan. Okay. People's is people's. And so that's just like, that's one of my favorite quotes ever. And it's from a puppet frog, but like, it just sums it up so well. Like, you can't, people's is people's. What are you going to do? Like, it, judging someone isn't going to make them not be them. It's just going to make us pissy, you know? So it's not easy because I don't know. It's just, it's not easy, but I feel like on the other side of just being like, whatever is a rebirth, you know, of an entirely new, like an entire, I'm just seeing like an entire chunk of stress falling off like a freaking melting iceberg. Because it's not how other people behave in their own lives and in their own journey. It has nothing to do with us. And so it's pointless to let anything anyone else does or won't stop doing affect our own path. And the rebirth part is just, I'm just seeing that chunk of weight fall off. It's like, I'm done caring, you know? And also look at how that beautiful sun. I just love the way that the sun is shining on that clearing there. The path is pretty clear up there, coming out of some shadow here. But up there's really nothing in your way, you know, at all. And these are pretty majestic birds. I'm not really sure much about the pelican, but letting go of judgments can only benefit us internally, I think. So just that, I just feel like that I might as well have like, forgive people for how they show up. It's not because of us. It has to do with their own place in their particular journey. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I feel like. But then also like forgiving yourself for caring too much or whatever, you know, because it's not our problem. It's not our problem. It's just not. So I love you, and I hope that helps. Forgive people; they know not what they do. Mm-hmm. On the other side of that, you'll just feel like you're flying because you've lost half the emotional weight. It's not yours to carry, you know. It's not any of ours to carry. It's whoever it. You carry your own weight, you know. Just let everything else fall off your shoulders. That's what I feel like from those cards. And I love you.
Aww. Love that. And Beth said thank you. Always so on point, Beth. Thank you, Beth, for joining us and for asking today. So, Jess, it is 12:25. If we didn't get to you today, please join us next week at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time for another Tuesday live readings. Thank you to everyone who joined us on Instagram as well. We had a pretty good crowd over there. I just saw, I scrolled through a little bit. So if you want to work with us, we did offer those coupons for the rest of March. We have coupons for 20% savings on services and products. So readings with Jess and I are considered products. Readings with Lexi and Mandy are considered services. And you can just go on our website and get to everyone's everything from our homepage. And yeah, as well as our monthly membership. I will be in person at the Sage Lady at the Unlending Wellness again this Thursday. So you can work with me in person if you're joining us and we didn't get to you today and you're in the South Jersey area and want to come see me on Thursday this week. I'll be there from 9 to 1. You can book ahead, or walk-ins are also welcome. So you can just go right to our events page to link to how to book with me ahead of time for that. And those are half-hour readings for only $44. And we'll cover your natal chart if you haven't had a reading before, or anything you want to talk about if you have. And just remember, we have our virtual tip jar. If you enjoy our lives and value a reading that you had today, it's not mandatory, but always appreciated. And that is right at the bottom of the description on the episode today or at the bottom of our homepage. So we will be back with you next week, the day after our first eclipse and our full moon. So I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about. These weeks have been feeling way more like weeks lately. Like last Tuesday feels like a month ago.
It does.
So the time warp effect.
Tuesday we do this though, so I just want people to know that every Tuesday we do this. So if you want to plan on 11:30, if we didn't get to you today, every Tuesday. Did I say Thursday? Tuesday? I don't know. Whatever day it is. Yeah. Okay.
My point exactly.
But yeah, so if we didn't get to you today, every Tuesday at 11:30, we're here for at least an hour. So keep that in mind.
Keep that in mind, and happy equinox to everybody. Happy spring, and we will see you next week.
See you on the other side.
Bye.